right, guys, welcome back to another video. It is that time of the quarter, I guess you could say, as the Microsoft financial reports have dropped, and we're interested over here on how Xbox is doing. How is their business doing? Are they growing? Are they shrinking? How are the console sales doing? How is the games and service content? All of that type of stuff. Are those increasing? And is Xbox a profitable, healthy company right now? And all signs are pointing to yes, especially after, they made the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and they're going to get tons of money off of the most popular franchises from there. But now we have the Q3 financial results, and we are going to talk about how Xbox is doing. But before we get into it, if you are new here or if you've been watching for a while and you are not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button to help this channel grow. Also, check out my Spotify. Link is in the description below. But let's talk about Xbox. On the gaming side of things, their numbers, and it says here from The Verge, this is a report on everything that kind of has come out from this. It says over on the Xbox and gaming side, Xbox content and services revenue, which includes Xbox Game Pass, is up by 62%. So that is a huge jump, but obviously one of the major reasons why it has increased so much is because of the Activision Blizzard revenues. And this is kind of one of the big positives if you are on the Xbox side of things, on the Xbox business side of things. And even as a gamer who plays on Xbox and is subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, is all of the content coming over, but all of the extra revenue that is going to be funneling in to the Xbox business, which will give Xbox more money to go out there and make games and get more games into Xbox Game Pass. I think it's just kind of a win-win for everybody on the Xbox ecosystem. They do say here that once again, thanks to Activision Blizzard revenues making up a bulk of the revenue. Now, they say Microsoft revealed in February that Xbox Game Pass has now grown to 34 million subscribers, including the Xbox Game Pass Core, or previously Xbox Live Gold members. And this is kind of a funny thing because Michael Pachter talked about this, and he said that there's no way that 34 million subscribers included Xbox Live Gold, and basically saying somebody messed up the numbers, but that was meaning that Xbox wasn't giving correct information. But they are, again, reiterating it here in this article that they did say the X34 million includes Xbox Game Pass Core, which is previously Xbox Live Gold. Now, maybe that's just how they are deciding to report the Game Pass numbers. And it says four previously Xbox exclusive games are now available on PlayStation 5, with some launching on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I think revenue from those games aren't going to be fully shown here in the Q3 results, but maybe in Q4 and then going into the next fiscal year, we will really start to see how those games have helped Xbox grow and if it is worth it for them putting games onto the PlayStation 5 and to the Nintendo Switch. It says the strategic shift is limited to these games for now, but it appears to be in response to a slowing of Xbox Game Pass growth and Xbox console sales. Specifically here, we have Satya Nadella saying, "We're expanding our games to new platforms, bringing 4 of our fan favorites to Nintendo Switch and Sony PlayStation for the first time." And says, in fact, earlier this month, we had 7 games among the top 25 on the PlayStation Store, more than any other publisher. And we talked about this in a video, I believe it was last week or the week before that, how that's a huge thing here for Xbox. And it really is showing that their strategy is paying off, specifically with games like Sea of Thieves and games like Grounded, that gamers on PlayStation, the majority of them, not when you go into the console wars and you go over to the fanboys, but the majority of people on PlayStation are picking up PlayStation to play these third-party games. They want to play these multiplayer games. They want to play with their friends. And it's really shown here with the top games in the top 25 on PlayStation, and 7 of those games being the Xbox first-party titles. And Sea of Thieves, I think, is going to be just extremely successful on the PlayStation 5. They already have 40 million players. Now bringing it over to the PlayStation 5, that thing is going to grow, and you're going to see that game continue to be very successful. It says, despite some early successes for Xbox on games on rival platforms, Xbox hardware is down a massive 31% this quarter, a big drop following a soft quarter for Xbox sales during the all-important holiday season last year. And Microsoft admits the obvious in its earnings filing that the big drop was driven by lower volume of consoles sold. So there is the negative side of this financial report. It is that 31% drop in the quarter for Xbox sales. And this is kind of something that is always talked about, because Xbox has said console sales isn't their main reason to be out there. It isn't their main competing thing. They want to get people playing in the Xbox ecosystem, no matter what device that they are on. The issue with this, though, is if you are a core Xbox customer, which I would say is somebody who plays on the Xbox consoles, on the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox has also said that they are wanting to make sure that those people feel like they are the core consumers for Xbox. But when you start seeing these numbers, the console sales falling 31% this quarter, what's going to happen next quarter? And then the quarter after that, as they continue to expand out the ecosystem, it gets people bringing in the narrative that they are not caring as much about the console. Why aren't they doing more to push the sales of the console? Now, again, I don't think this really has a huge effect on the overall console and going forward for Xbox. We know they're going into another generation of Xbox, and we're going to get that biggest technological leap. And we've heard rumors of the Xbox hardware. There's already such a large established base of Xbox players that play on the console. There's no way that Xbox is going to start moving away from that. They're going to continue to support it, and they're going to continue to provide good experiences on the console. But I think they have to start doing things here to generate some more importance for the console to try to sell a bit more. And maybe at this point, as we're in 2024, going into the last couple of years of this generation, they're kind of starting to wind it down, and they're maybe focused on what is to be coming up next, because they believe what they have coming up in the next gen will really be that step forward to get Xbox back to the golden age for their consoles, at least their console sales, which was the Xbox 360. So it says here, overall gaming revenue is up 51%, bolstered by additional Activision Blizzard revenue, which contributed 55 points of net impact. That means without Activision Blizzard, Microsoft's overall gaming revenue would have actually declined this quarter. The newly acquired division recorded $1.97 billion in revenue during Q3, but the cost of integration, transaction costs, and other costs of revenue all total $980 million, with the other operating expenses $1.34 billion. It calculates to an overall operating loss of $350 million for Activision Blizzard. And I guess that's just the expense of a major acquisition like this. It's going to take a couple of quarters here to really see the whole picture, the overall dividends, you could say, for getting Activision Blizzard. It will be very successful, though, with the IPs that they do have, and especially with the mobile side of stuff. It says that Xbox content and services would have only been up a single percent without Activision Blizzard. So it's clear that this giant purchase is already having a big impact on Microsoft's overall gaming revenue. Looks like next quarter is going to be a similar story for Microsoft too. And the CFO, Amy Hood, says the company is expecting Xbox hardware revenues to decline again next quarter, alongside overall gaming revenue growth in the low to mid 40% region, with around 50 points of impact from Activision Blizzard. And the content and services revenue is expected to be up the high 50% region in Q4, driven by 60 points of impact from Activision Blizzard. So there you have it. That's pretty much all you need to know about the Xbox side of the business. Activision Blizzard right now has been very successful for them for increasing their revenues and increasing their content and services side of things. But it's the console sales that everyone is going to be talking about, I bet, going into social media tomorrow, today, whatever, because of the decline of the 31%. And then they're expecting a bigger decline even next quarter. So I wonder at this point if they're just thinking, we're not even going to try to push the console right now any more than we already have, and we're just going to let it play out until the end of this generation. That is what we will see. I mean, it doesn't really affect your experience. The games are still coming out on Xbox if you own an Xbox, and they're still bringing out another generation. But it would be nice to see them push the console just a bit more. All right, let's jump over here. Let's talk about Suicide Squad, because this has been a game right from the get-go that it was just super controversial, or I guess you could say super divisive, however you want to put it. Suicide Squad is a game that right when they showed it off, people were wondering what the heck was Rocksteady doing? Why are they going out here making a games as a service game, a looter shooter? That's really not what people wanted. And then they continued, they released the game. A lot of people who played it said it was fun, but a lot of people disliked the game. A lot of people disliked the story, especially with how some of the most iconic characters ended. I guess that's the best way to say it. But again, you do have to understand it. The game is called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, but that's all beside the point. This has all come together, and Suicide Squad is just, I would say, a commercial failure for Rocksteady. And it's a shame, because Rocksteady, I think, is a great developer, and we don't know what this is going to mean for them going forward, but hopefully it points them into making more of the Batman Arkham style of games rather than a games as a service for their next game. And it's kind of gone to an all-time low now. It says Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game sinks to an all-time low player base, which doesn't bode well for the game's future. So Rocksteady's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has reached an all-time low of 118 concurrent players on Steam, according to Steam DB. And this is compared to other live services like Helldivers 2, which is still doing very, very well, and Fallout 76, which has seen an absolute resurgence in concurrent players. So this is the questions are going to be asked. What is happening next for Rocksteady? Is it right now because there's just not enough content for it and not enough people just enjoying what was originally out there for Suicide Squad, but it does not look good. And I wonder how long they are going to support this game. I wonder how long they're going to keep this thing up and running, because if it's an absolute commercial failure, Rocksteady may at some point be considering a deadline here for it to improve, or they're going to have to move on to something else. So unfortunate for Suicide Squad, unfortunate for Rocksteady. Hopefully they've learned their lesson and they put out something better with their next release. Let's jump over here. Let's talk about BlizzCon, because BlizzCon is skipping 2024. They say in favor of multiple global events to showcase World of Warcraft and Diablo expansions plus more. So BlizzCon, a very famous convention every single year held at the Anaheim Convention Center. And really, since 2005, they say BlizzCon has served as the primary platform for sharing major World of Warcraft, Diablo, Starcraft, and Overwatch news. And we're not going to be having that this year in 2024. And I would probably say here that this is meaning that they are going to be showing off their stuff with Xbox on certain showcases. Now, there is a discussion as to whether Microsoft came in and made that decision and saying, hey, we're going to end BlizzCon here and we're going to take all of your content and show it at the Xbox showcase. But it looks like there is an update, and Blizzard is confirming that the decision was made internally at Blizzard, not higher ups at Microsoft who had really anything to do about this. Specifically, here's what they say. This is a Blizzard decision. We have explored different event formats in the past, and this isn't the first time we're skipping BlizzCon or trying something new. While we have great things to share in 2024, the timing just doesn't line up for one single event at the end of the year. Instead, we want to focus on highlighting individual games and their moments, Warcraft's multiple anniversaries, the upcoming releases of World of Warcraft, The War Within, and Diablo 4's first expansion, Vessel of Hatred in particular. So there you have it. Again, my question is, even though they're out here saying that Microsoft had nothing to do with this decision, my question is Blizzard going to have a rather large presence at the big Xbox showcase in June? Could this be the biggest Xbox showcase we have ever gotten? Because they're generally around 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. Are they going to have something huge here, 2.5 hours, and just put in content from every single game and just make the Xbox showcase this year the biggest that they have ever done? I'd be cool if they do something like that. Just get Bethesda, get Blizzard, get Xbox, get them all one place and make a big marketing thing about it. Make a big event where letting the world know that now this is everything that Xbox has. But I also would love to see, like what Blizzard is trying to do here, smaller events, and just get more of those like developer directs to give us more information about games behind the scenes, deeper dives in gameplay. And one of those games that I really can't wait, this is my most anticipated game right now, I'd say, coming from Xbox, just because the hype is starting to build on it. One of my favorite franchises of all times is Gears of War. And Gear 6, we've been hearing that we are going to see it this June. We're hearing that we're going to get more information on it. And it really does seem like that is occurring here, as the actor for JD Phoenix basically said that we are going to be hearing more about Gear 6 in June. Specifically, he was quote tweeting this. Someone said, wait, so what's happening to JD? Is his death canon? And they're tweeting at Gears of War. And the voice actor for JD Phoenix says, I have no idea. I think Gears of War tells us all in June. So there you have it. I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe here that he has no idea. I think he can't say, but I think he's kind of hinting here that June is going to be a big moment here for Gear 6, where we finally get that announcement that we've all been waiting for. And I hope it's not just Gear 6. The thing I do really want to see, which I've been talking about for a while, and it's been in the rumors for a while, is a Gears collection. Bring Gears back in a collection like the Master Chief Collection, put all of the games in one package, one UI, have all of the multiplayer accessible in one place, and it would be an absolute hit. It would hold people over until Gear 6, and even after Gear 6 comes out, I would guarantee that the Gears collection will still have a large player base of people playing all the time. So I hope that is it. I hope we get those 2 Gears announcement this year at the Xbox showcase, the major Xbox showcase. And a couple more things here. People Can Fly have decided to discontinue a further project, or a project that they've been working on called Project Dagger. They put out a press statement here basically saying that they've decided to discontinue further work on Project Dagger, a new action adventure IP that has been in development for multiple years. And the game was to be published by Take-Two, but that agreement was ended in September 2022. So, I mean, if we don't really know anything about this game, but again, this is another, I would say, offshoot of what is happening in the gaming industry, kind of with the shrinkage and less risk being taken, and these developers realizing that they got to put something out. It has to be successful. It can't have years and years and years in development and then come out and flop. So they would rather just stop spending money on developing it than continue it if they don't have full faith that it is going to be good. And finally, Starcraft and Diablo 2 are coming to GeForce Now. NVIDIA is adding the BattleNet versions of the classic games to the service. So if you want to go and stream those classic games, you can. I hope we get an announcement for a new Starcraft game soon. Maybe that's going to be part of the smaller stuff and the smaller shows that Blizzard does have throughout the year. But I'm going to end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.